I have this 1988 CRX Si that I'm trying to turn into a decent ride. I've done a good bit of work to it, and where I left off last time was installing all the timing components, but I stopped short of putting the covers on and driving it because everything was so filthy. So that's where I pick up today. I stayed up way too late last night, but guess what I'm gonna drive around today? I'm claiming it. I'm not saying if things go well, I'm saying I'm gonna be driving this today. I may even take it somewhere cool. But I gotta be efficient because staying up late 2 nights in a row is not good for me. So I'm gonna clean up these parts and get this car on the road. I mean, I tried to claim it, but if I don't have oil pressure or there's another issue, I won't drive it, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna get me a parts cleaner or ultrasonic cleaner or something because I need to be touching nuts and bolts right now instead of wiping this bad boy down. That's all the timing cover wiping I got in me today. If I were to give myself a grade on wiping these down, I'd probably give myself a C, maybe even a C minus. Uh-oh. Part of the problem is this mount is cooked. It should not be cocked like that. With a good bit of persuasion, I got one of the holes to line up. And it might need a bit more persuasion. All right, let's see if it goes all the way through. Uh-oh. It's in there, but not tightened. So I hope that means, yeah. All right, cool beans. There we go. I think this nut's supposed to be welded on. Now I can take the jack out. Now the crankshaft pulley with the Woodruff key and all the timing marks should still be lined up. And since I'm trying to be efficient today, I picked up a new exhaust manifold. And it came with extra studs. If I ever decide to fix the old exhaust manifold, I can use the new studs. I also got a new oxygen sensor because the other one obviously saw a lot of oil and coolant that it shouldn't have seen. And this is a direct replacement or plug right up. And I tighten it just till that crush washer is crushed. And that's good enough, for me anyway. It came with a new gasket, but I have a metal one installed. And I'm gonna keep using that because who knows when I'll be going back in here. The new header / manifold did come with a new gasket for up here, so I might as well use it if I can get the old one out. And I'm gonna wipe this down a little bit because like everything else, this has tons of oil on it as well. Let's go put it on. You need something?
No, just hadn't heard from you. Want to make sure you're not dead.
All right.
All right,
Love you too. Rolling around on the floor, I found the other 2 spacers for the cover. So I'm gonna put those on right quick. Now I gotta remember how all these belts and things go. This is the tensioner. I do not remember these being this hard to get to. And the pulley and all its friends. And these belts are easy to remember because one has 3 grooves and one has 4. So the one that goes over the AC is the larger one. And the one that goes over the alternator is the smaller one. And the crankshaft pulley gets torqued to 119 foot-pounds, but I don't have my torque wrench that goes that high with me. So I'll do that later. But I'll make it good and tight, but I'll just verify that it is torqued down properly later. Putting on the alternator belt now. It's in the groove. And now for the AC belt. I don't even know if the AC works in this car. For all I know, I'm just spinning extra stuff for no reason. Robbing myself of horsepower. I used to have a Saturn Coupe, and I could not make left turns into traffic with the AC on, especially if I had someone in the car. I remember the girl I was dating at the time. She was like, "Are you kidding me?" She said, "We can't make it. She said, "We can't make this turn with the AC on." I said, "Nah, hold on." And I gave it all she had, and that car took its good time getting into traffic. I remember those days. Holding tension on the alternator belt. Not too much, just taut while I tighten it. That should be good. Now I'm gonna tighten the little pivot. That should be good. I think that's good enough. If it squeals, I'll tighten it a little more. I forgot to plug up the new oxygen sensor. That is not going to work. Well, yes it is. And I need to improve this situation big time. This is all chewed up. That is not ideal. So I'm gonna fix that. Definitely gonna fix that. Another random bracket. You think I would have remembered to bring a funnel next time though. Just under 4 quarts. Oh man, I don't know if I have enough water. No, I need more water. Well, I was efficient today, but I didn't think to bring everything I needed. So I'm gonna go get more water, my bigger torque wrench. What else do I need? I think that's it. But you know what? I'm gonna start it real quick to see if I have good oil pressure. Then I gotta go. Well, for now, the oil pressure light is off. I'm not gonna let it run too long because I don't have enough coolant in there. And look at that. That was a fresh start and there's hardly any smoke. All right, I might have to drive it next time. But that is excellent news. I was hoping to have the CRX drivable so that I could take it to this JDM importer. I met him a few nights ago and we had to discuss a few things. Maybe we could work something out, maybe not. So it's the next day and I have good and bad news about the CRX. Good news is I got water and I'll be able to bring it up to temperature and get everything going. But you can't really see it. I do have a small oil leak. But what I can do is bring it up to temperature and make sure that the pressure stays in a good range. Since I'm gonna drain this oil anyway, I'd hate to waste the oil that I put in. So I'd like it to get up to temperature and try and clean out some of that sludge because this is, although it's a cheap synthetic oil, it's a decent oil and it'll get things hot and moving and hopefully drain out some of the nastiness that I got. So that's the leak, and it's a lot worse when it's running. And I noticed that the alternator belt wasn't all the way on. It was like one rib off. At this point, I thought the oil pump was the problem because the new pump I installed did not line up perfectly with the bottom of the block. I didn't think it was a big deal, so I just put a little extra RTV where they met up. So I decided to bleed the coolant system, let the oil get up to temperature as well, drain it, and then investigate. And while it was heating up, I decided to go ahead and check the lights because I knew I had some bulbs out. So I need a front turn signal light, a rear brake light, and one of the reverse lights. I think that's it. And of course I gotta replace this. So I'm on the hunt for one of those as well. The CRX is fully up to temperature and there is no oil pressure light. No check engine lights, no warnings, no nothing. That is good news. I really wanna drive this thing, but there's no use in delaying the inevitable. I'm gonna have to address this leak. So I'm gonna drain the oil. Let's see what it looks like. Oh man, it looks brand new. So I really didn't do much cleaning in that short run. Yeah, that still looks pretty clean. We'll see when it gets down to the bottom. So while the oil was draining, I undid a lot of the work that I just finished to see where this leak was coming from. So if my theory is correct, I will have oil leaking below the block, between the seal and the pan, but not above. Should be dry above, and I'm wet above. Is it this daggum seal? Here I am thinking about the oil pan. The oil pan can't do that. It's leaking around that seal. Actually, that makes sense because it leaked very, very, very little overnight, but it leaked a lot while it was running. I might just see if I can replace that seal. See if I can get this one out. So I pried it out. Let's see, is there anything in here that would make me think it won't seal? I saw one imperfection on the pump, but its location had nothing to do with the seal being able to do its job. If you look at the upper part of the seal here, it looks like I should have taken more care when installing it. It seemed like it went in okay, but that deformity says otherwise. Now it could have been a bad seal, but I just don't think I lubed it properly when I installed it. So I got kind of lucky. The parts store only a few minutes from the little shop had one in stock. So I got the new seal and I probably lubed it up with more oil than is required. But I want it to go on nicely. It seems like it is. All right, the new seal is in and I think it's prettier than the other one. I like bright colors. So I'm gonna put the timing belt, all the pulleys back on, fill it up with oil, and see if the leak is gone. So I have hooked up everything except for the AC pulleys, because I'll know pretty quickly if that was the actual leak, and that's just one less thing I have to take off. But I did hook up the alternator belt, so let's see what's going on. But I did pick up a funnel. I did clean out a drain pan so that if it does leak and the oil comes out looking brand new, I can save it and reuse it. At this point before, it was already leaking. So I am glad I didn't have to take the whole pan off. You never want to have to do things over and over again, but you pick up little tricks. So before I thought I had to take this pulley off to get to both of these bolts, but no, you just have to position it such that it's pretty much centered about them. And this is the AC pulley. So that saved me a couple minutes.
Do I see that you dropped your car?
Yeah. You don't know how happy this makes me. I know there's probably things that will shake out from driving it, but I'm tickled to be able to even drive it. All right, so shakedown time. All of that just to get to the point to see what else is wrong with the car. And smoking under idle is not like smoking under load, so we still may have other gremlins. But we'll see. Roll down this window. And this is broken too. First stop will be auto parts store, because I need all those lights. This thing's kind of peppy to be so little. I am seeing a bit of smoke. We'll see how much of it is old and how much of it is new. Yeah, I still got a lot of smoke. I feel bad for the people behind me. I did not want that to be the case. So I'm guessing I have bigger issues. It pulls nicely. It pulls very nicely. This was the wrong time to do a shakedown drive. But wait a minute, maybe the smoke is subsiding a little bit. We won't know till I can open it up a little bit. I don't know, I think it's getting better. It's definitely not smoking as much sitting still. Well, we just about made it home. Definitely got to do something about this shifter. Definitely got to drive it a bit more because the smoke is better, but it's not all gone. So I got to see if it's old stuff burning off or new stuff I'm creating. As I continue to drive it, I'll keep an eye on the smoke, and I'm going to start addressing other little issues. If you would like to follow along, hit subscribe. If you would like to see the things I've done to get to this point, check out the playlist. Thanks for watching. Take care.